Anthony Harwig here with a Springfield girls basketball player profile. I am joined by Jacey Mullen, one of the leaders of this Tigers team. Jacey, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, you've been a staple for this team for a while, but now it seems like you've taken the next step in responsibility and leadership. What's that kind of been like this year, knowing that there's more responsibilities on your shoulder to be not just a statistical leader, but also an energetic leader and an emotional one as well?
I think that like coming up being a senior this year, it gives a lot of our seniors a lot of responsibility, but I feel like it's something that we don't really need like together as a team. I feel like we have a lot of vocal leaders coming from the younger kids too and energy wise. So I think it just in hard games and hard times we might need a bit of like that just spurt of energy or um, the kind of vocal leader, but I don't feel like it's something that we've been lacking.
You've had the chance to play with so many great seniors in your career and you've been able to watch them lead this team. Who are some of the leaders that you've had in your past that have taught you what it means to be a leader and helped you get to where you are now?
I think the seniors that we've had the past couple of years have really they've been helpful and they've kind of showed like what responsibilities you have, especially when you're a senior. So I think going back to them, they've kind of just paved the way for the responsibilities that you need to take on when you are a senior.
What were the feelings like this summer when the reality kind of dawned on you that you were a senior now and those responsibilities were going to be on your shoulder and now you had to be the one that leads the team?
It was just funny. I realized, I mean, it's your last season in high school, so basically you just have to realize that you have to have fun. And I think one of the things that, especially in my game, that I've improved this year is just having more energy. So I think coming into the off season, I knew that I was gonna try to bring more energy than I have in previous years.
Senior year brings a lot of last first game, last game against this team, last time you're able to play on that home court. How have you handled the emotions that come with all these last times that senior year brings?
I don't think anything's been too emotional yet. We have senior night on Thursday, so I think that'll probably start a few of it. But I'm just trying to enjoy the last season that I get with all these younger kids, and so I'm gonna try to enjoy it and not be too sad about it ending.
In the past, senior nights have always been like the last home game. That's always going to be senior night. Now we start to see more and more teams have it, a little bit past the midpoint, but you still got games to go. What do you think that's going to be like, knowing that it's senior night and having to feel all those emotions, but also knowing you still got games left, you still got plenty of season left as well?
I think it's gonna help a lot with our emotional side of it, just because you us knowing that it's not the last time ever that we're gonna play here is definitely gonna calm us down a little bit. And knowing that like we still have a bunch of season left to play, I think it'll just help everyone come to terms with it is your senior year, but you've still got a lot of time left.
Let's rewind to last year. You guys win a district championship, head down to Perry for the regionals. Probably the first exposure to that stage for this team. What was that like, and how much did you take from that into this year and trying to get back there?
I think like collectively as a team, we take a lot of that into how we want to play and the competition level that later in the season we'll be getting up against. One of the motivators has definitely been to get back there to do it again and obviously have a little bit better of an outcome. So I think it's just been a huge motivation seeing that we have the potential and now we got to work on it every day in order to keep working to get back there.
How hungry did falling short at regionals make you to get back and to make this season one where you can get back to that stage?
Yeah, it was a big motivation. I know for me it was something that it was like a surreal feeling knowing that it was the first team in a while that's been there, and we fell pretty short in that regional game. So it's definitely something that I know I and the rest of our team have been really looking forward to getting back to.
How have you shared that with some of the new faces on this team or the players that are stepping into a varsity role, a bigger varsity role? Share that hunger that maybe they didn't get from playing in that game last year, that like, hey, this is the standard that we need to meet.
Luckily, we only lost two seniors last year, so majority of our players they were able to play in that regional game. So I think that most of them, they know the importance of it, but I think like they also realize that, you know, especially for the older kids, it could be the last time. It could be the last time with this group. I think just realizing that it's kind of like it's a one shot this year that we got to get it done. I think that really motivates people.
As we keep talking about you being a senior and you being a leader, one of the hallmarks of seniors is how they leave the program. And that's why we ask all of the seniors, who were the seniors of the past that led you? What are you doing to make sure that you leave your legacy and you make sure that this program is sustained after you graduate?
I think coming up the last year and this year, the atmosphere of the energy has changed, which is something that new coaching and a lot of new players brought in. I think that's one thing that we can leave with this team is that, you can have off nights, you can have rough nights, but your team's going to surround you, and the energy that will be in the gym every night is going to get you through it.
Next year, when we're interviewing the new leaders of this team and we ask them maybe what Jacey Mullen taught them and what they took away from being one of your teammates, what would you hope the answer would be to that?
Um, Probably just have fun. I try to make things as, especially the last season. Just I hope they just had fun.
You talked about new coaches. Obviously, John Matisi came in last year and made a lot of changes to this team. What's it been like, having him at the helm of this program, and what have you learned from Coach Matisi?
I think it's really good for this program. Both the Matisis put in a lot of time, and you could tell that they're really dedicated to it, and they have the best they have like the best plan for the game in play. Um, Something I've learned is that they're both really dedicated to the program. So it's amazing to see how an outside force can affect, you know, the whole team and the program so much.
You look at that coaching family, and obviously Coach Matisi's father did so much, and he's still doing so much. Does that carry a little bit of respect, knowing that him and his brothers and his dad all really are really good coaches, and they all know kind of what they're talking about?
Yeah, it definitely does, especially the first, I think, freshman and sophomore year. Coach Matisi was at McDonald, and they had a really strong team. So I think him coming in here and being able to show us, like, I know what I'm talking about, and having the family to back it up, it puts a lot of respect on them.
You've played McDonald twice now this year, so we can ask this. Be honest, does your coach Matisi get a little bit more fired up for that game, knowing that his dad's on the other side?
Um, I think you have to. I think the competition level is just. I know for me personally, I would have to if I was playing against my dad. I think he does really well not to show it, but we were asking him before the game, and he said he tries to just keep it as like a regular league game and everything.
That might be a game that he gets fired up about. What about you? Who are some teams that you really like to play and you really get energetic when you see them on the other side of the floor?
I think the two of the tough teams in our league, Waterloo and Western Reserve, are some of our motivators. When we play them, you got to get fired up, or you're not going to have a good night when you go against those two teams.
And we know that you play a lot of travel basketball, AAU. You have the chance to play with so many great athletes in your own right in the off season. Who's your best friend that doesn't wear the Springfield uniform?
Um, Spring. I'll probably say Sophia Hook is the best player that I play with in the off season. Seeing what she's able to do in Brookfield and with her own team, it's crazy. She's a kid that she works hard every night, and it shows.
What is, playing with so many great players on your team in the offseason and then playing against so much good talent in the offseason really do for you as a player? And how has it helped you grow throughout your career?
I think not only just the practice makes you better, it teaches you how to play with different kids who have different backgrounds and everything. So it'll help when you're playing with some of the younger kids that are on your team. Just being able to get that experience of how other players do play and how they think about things, it helps you become a better teammate.
watching this team already this year, we can tell there's a little bit more of physicality to them. Like you're a little bit more mean this year. You know, you'll push people around a little bit. Do you think that's one of the main things that you talked about this year, trying to be more physical with every team you play?
Yeah, it definitely was. I feel like last year we lacked that a little bit, and in the high intensity physical games, it definitely did show. So this year we worked on coming out stronger and just overall, being stronger together.
What was that like for you trying to build a physical mindset and trying to always be in that attack aggressive mentality every night on the floor?
I feel like it's something that it takes a lot of work to just try to be physical, like for the entirety of the game. But when you look back at it, it's something that really does pay off. So I think the motivation is, it's hard right now, but in the end, it's gonna work towards your favor.
Obviously, with senior year, we have to talk about your future too, some of the future plans that you have. What are some goals that you see yourself accomplishing in the next few years after high school where you want to see yourself?
I'm not really sure where I'm looking to go to school yet, but I am looking to just further my education and really make that one of my main focuses. And I'm gonna try to play wherever I go. So I think education is definitely number one, and just being able to get through that.
When you think about kind of what education you want to go into and what things you want to do you have anywhere that you're leaning of what you want to start learning about in college?
Every school that I've toured, it's either been accounting in the business management or engineering.
All right, so we talk a lot about athletes and the inspiration in the on the court. Who has been some of your inspirations in the school world and some of the teachers that have really helped you along the way and really taught you how to be a better student?
I think coming from a small school, especially in this area, all it's the school is just so connected. I don't think anyone in particular you can put the not the blame, but like the credit to. I think just coming from this small school, the sense of community that everyone is able to bring, it just that's something that will stick with you.
Let's get to know you a little bit off the floor with some rapid fire questions before we let you out of here. First one I got for you is if you could have any animal as a pet, no matter like exotic, doesn't matter, what animal would you want to have?
I've always wanted a pig since I was a kid, but I don't have one, so that's got to be it.
Like since you've always wanted, if you already picked out a name for a pig that if you get it, like I know I'm gonna name it this.
I haven't, but I think I gotta find one out.
All right. What is some of the New Year's resolutions you had, or the things that you want to do a little bit better into 2023, since we're just barely into the new year?
Definitely, I'm trying to get more focused on the college journey and just improving my education. Obviously, we have some small basketball goals and just finishing the season off, but I think those are definitely main two.
I know you're an athlete and you like to eat healthy and keep your body right, but what are some desserts that kind of catch your sweet tooth every now and then?
Mm. Probably ice cream. Yeah, I really like ice cream. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
Cookie dough.
There you go. Where? Like Handles? Are we talking Briarwood? Where's the best ice cream?
It's definitely handles. Yeah.
Got it. Um, what makes you proud to be a Springfield Tiger and proud to represent that school system?
Once again, I think it's just the sense of community and how it just brings everyone together is something that it's really it's something that you're or proud to be a part of in the moment, and then even after that like you came from a small community that they're always they're gonna have your back.
If we gave you a time machine, would you want to go forward in time or would you want to go back into the past?
I would have to say back in the past.
Where would you want to go? Like what time period would be cool to go check out?
I feel like maybe the 90s or like the late 80s would be cool just to see how different the culture was, especially for like when my parents grew up.
All right. If you could have a dinner with anybody, living or dead, any celebrity, it could be a celebrity, it could be someone that maybe is this local that you haven't had the chance to get to know. Who would you want to have a dinner with?
Oh, that's a good one. I would probably say it's a weird answer. Post Malone, he's definitely my favorite artist, so I think that would just be cool.
All right, you get one question with him though. And what's the one thing you would want to know if you got one question with Post Malone?
Probably just, what started it all. What made you have the realization that that's what I'm gonna do, and even if it's a long shot, what's the motivation?
I'm gonna flip that on you. What started it all for you? When did you start taking basketball really seriously, and you started to realize that you had a really big love for the sport?
I think it started when I was really young. My older sister, she's 4 years older than me. My dad would take me to their practices and stuff, and just being able to like see what they're doing, and I know that some of the times they would let me do the drills with them. I think that's really where it started. Just getting the early on experience. That definitely set the stage for basketball for me.
All right, JC, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, all the people that have been there for you throughout your career, and all the people that you couldn't do this without.
Definitely just my family and my friends, especially my parents and my sisters and grandparents and everything like that.
All right, JC, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck going forward, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.